Your brain is still protecting you from the embarrassment that has already happened. And I don't think people realize how much their adult behavior is still being shaped by the moment that happened years ago. Like one laugh, one classroom moment, one teacher correcting you publicly, one pointing, whatever, one moment where you felt exposed. And logically, you know it's over, it's done. And you also know that you have survived it, right? You know that you're no longer a child anymore, but your body remembers. And now, every time visibility shows up, every time attention lands on you, every time you might seem like you're getting something wrong, your brain quietly goes, "Oh, careful. Last time you got hurt." And honestly, I think that's what a lot of people are actually fighting, not really realizing. And I really want us to dive into that in this today's video. Because I personally, I remember the moment in school when I knew the answer in my head. Like I thought that I had like written, we had done a test before the day before or a couple of days before. And now the teacher was like handing in the paper. And as he was handing out the paperwork, like I knew like I knew the stuff. I don't even remember what the topic was, but I knew that I know this thing. And he was coming, as he was coming closer to me, he looked he looked like what's the word I'm looking for? I can just complex, like look like confused or no, it's not the right word. But when he came up to me, right, and asked me the question, I mean, I know this stuff, right? Expressed myself, I said it as it is. Now he was even looking more confused. And he said, "So why didn't you write what you just said on paper?" Now who's confused? Me. Like I did. I wrote everything on paper. So what are you talking about? Like in my head, I didn't say that to him. It's like, why didn't you write it down? And I said, I did. Then he said, no, what you wrote is goggle blah, blah, blah," like, and now the whole class is roaring in laughter, like full on belly aching laughter. And I just wanted to disappear. I wanted that ground beneath me to just open up and let me go. Because all of a sudden, I looked stupid. I looked like, what the heck? What are you talking about? I know because I didn't know the stuff. I knew the stuff. But I just could not write it down. And he just, so so I now unconsciously associated being seen as dangerous. And once that had happened, enough time, I started associating visibility with it's not safe. This is not it. Because of that one moment. And some people are afraid, they're not afraid of failing. They're afraid of feeling exposed again. Something might have happened. Maybe a adult chastised you or a parent shut you down or whatever that is. And then your nervous system, your body just feels like, no, we do not want to feel like this again. So it starts protecting you. And it like carried on into my adulthood. Oh gosh. I am recording my YouTube. I've got my live thing going there. And in case YouTube, you're wondering what made you jump, I have no idea. Something on TikTok made me jump. Oh, oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Oh, oh my goodness. Thank you, my dear. I got a gift. Thank you. I am talking about the fear of being exposed. I think we might just combine YouTube and TikTok together today because I was like, what's that sound? Ah, I'm brain back, brain back. Okay, so this is the deal. I'm talking about like how we as adults now are still living in the feeling and things that had happened to us while we were young. Our brain is still protecting us from things that have happened to us in the past. And even though we have moved from it, even though we know we've survived those situations, even though we know we have gone past whatever that is, the brain doesn't know that logically. We know it consciously and logically that, oh, when that teacher made me feel embarrassed, like I was just embarrassed and that was it. But my nervous system, when that happened to me and everyone in the class laughed at me for not being able to express myself in writing, but I could say it verbally, that that was like, we are not safe. We cannot be seen doing this. So that was what my brain was. So in that sense, it was protecting me every time I was in similar situation that felt like I'm being exposed. I pulled away. I would like do certain things to protect myself. So even though now as an adult, I am now in a work mode and I'm doing my thing, and someone's gonna find me out. Like for the longest time, it turned out years later that I was dyslexic, and that's why I couldn't express myself properly. And it wasn't a case that because I knew how I said it clearly, but when it came to writing, there was all these red marks and all these things, and I didn't know at the time that I was. And yeah, and that happened. Exactly. Things happen and then and that's the thing. We can so there's a comment in there that's saying that they had like a rough childhood, and as they grew older, they they turned to Christ and they got baptized, and then the fears washed away. And that is actually an anchor without realizing. Now our nervous system has been reassured with that guidance of, you know, Jesus in her life and everything going on. So again, all these things is like when we don't, sometimes we don't even know what is causing us to freeze. So I took this now to my work, right? Every time as a sign language interpreter, somebody will raise their hands to finger spell something, I will freeze. Even though I have context of what they're going to spell, I have an idea what they might spell, I know what's going on, but because of my nervous system and the bias that I have, every time I saw someone about to spell, my heart stopped because my brain was trying to protect us that we're going to be exposed now. They're going to know we don't get this. That we might all these things start happening, and because of what has happened in the past, is showing up still as in my adulthood, in my work situation. What has happened to me when I was little is still holding me back years later in my role, in my profession. And that started affecting how I was showing up, started affecting how things were rolling because of what I was holding on to, right? And we don't even realize this behavior is still being shaped our moments that we're going through now. That's the thing. We don't know that, like, whatever that happened to us, someone looked to you a certain way and you felt like something, you consciously and logically has moved on, but your nervous system, your body, your brain is like, no, alarm bells. We do not feel safe in this situation. So what does it do? It stops you. That one laugh, like classroom, whatever that is for us, it will keep on playing it. And so every time we are exposed in situations like that, or we want to be visible, or for me, being visible and whatever shows up, every time, attention lands on you, or like for me, every time I might feel like I'm being seen or something's getting wrong, my brain just goes, careful now. Last time you got hurt, and honestly, this is what a lot of people are actually fighting, not realizing that this is what's going on. And with my experience with what happened to me, right? So whatever that is for us, mine was a laugh. What is that for you? What was that moment of embarrassment? What was that moment of you felt judged, or whatever that is for you? Because some people would say, "Oh yeah," people looking at it from the hindsight would be like, "Oh, it was just a joke, right? I was just laughing. What's the deal? Like, it was just one comment. He didn't. I mean, you were a child then, whatever that is." But this is what we don't understand as adults. Kids, children do not process moments logically. As adults now, we can logically break that down that this is what happened. But when you are a child, you just absorb the emotion that was there. You absorb it. You take on whatever has happened without you happening. But you as an adult, like, oh yeah, you're fine now. Don't worry, you changed school now, you're good now. You know what to do. Da 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 da. It doesn't logically make sense, especially when you're a child. We just zap onto the emotion of what's going on. And this is what I think. A lot of people underestimate how long embarrassment can stay in the body. This happened to me when I was in my early teens, and it was still showing up right up to my late 20s. The feeling. And what would then happen? Someone can simply say, oh, someone just looking confused, someone pausing too long, someone reacting strangely would take me back to that moment, not logically, but emotionally, without realizing. Like what someone just, oh, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, embarrassment. Remember that? I wanted to disappear. It takes me back. Most of us might not be able, we might not remember the link up to what was that moment that they happened to us. What was that thing that made us start feeling like this? We might not be able to label it, but we're able to express it and feel it. We're able to connect, like the scenario, what happened. Oh, my mom laughed at me. I got bit. Like what you might not be able to have the language for it, but the feeling, the body remembers. Is your heart racing, your belly turning, the shoulders tensing? What's that? That one moment back then is still running the show now. And all of a sudden, your nervous system will start reacting as if we're back there again. As if we're back in that situation that happened to you. You get back there. And you feel, oh, don't worry about it. No, you will, until you flip that, change the story, how that makes you feel, what's going on there, it will keep on running the show. And you wonder, I am so skilled at this. I know myself. When I'm not interpreting, I get this. When I'm not, I'm clocking. But when I'm in there, it happens. I'm relaxed. I'm tense. There's no tension. No one's giving me pressure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm voicing over as if no, it's like nothing. And then I'm in position, and it's like we might get exposed. Be careful now. Something might happen. Don't go that way. You start having this internal chatter that is going on in your head. And it stemmed from a moment that we had no idea had happened, or we had forgotten we even happened, that it was a thing for us. But the body remembers, right? So now, moving forward, I'm now in another situation in a training center, learning to now become an interpreter, right? Doing this thing. And then the tutor's like, we've just done a practical thing. We're looking, we're doing our stuff. And I'm like, I'm looking in the corner because for me, I can't just wave my hands and get it. I have to see me waving my hands to get it. And while we're in class, and we're supposed to be practicing, I'm not waving my hands. The tutor now came in. It was a deaf tutor, and it's like, why you not practicing? And I'm like, I am practicing. So I was there trying to explain the scenario of me seeing myself doing a thing, and they couldn't get it. I'm dyslexic, and they're like, huh? You're dyslexic? You can't be an interpreter then. How are they going to understand you if you need help? It never crossed my mind that I couldn't be one because I was dyslexic. So now another whammy, being told I couldn't. So now another emotional significant event has happened. Now my brain is now traumatized and scarred to like, oh my goodness, I can't do this. And then it stays with you for years. You start being conscious because of what someone had said. the embarrassment or the exposure, whatever that is, majority of the things happen way in our childhood, but they still happen even as we are adults, as we are moving on. Things happen. If it becomes this huge emotional, like what I mean by emotional significant events is like something happens that makes this traumatic um emotion attached to it. Like if I say like, what were you doing during 9/11 when those attacks happened? You would remember somewhat what you were doing if you were there in that time because of how emotionally charged the whole world was. So in that moment, if I said 9/11, you would know, okay, I was this, or I was still a child, or I was in school, or this, or whatever. That is an emotional significant event, something that truly happened, that just like charged with emotion. So when that embarrassment happened to me as my childhood and that laughter happened, that was emotional. That was huge. That was like, like it got locked in. And if I asked you, what happened like a year ago from today, what happened in your life? You probably be like, I don't know, it's like any other Monday morning or whatever that is, or whatever a year from now is for you. You might not remember because there was no emotion attached to it. Like if I'd mentioned, okay, what's the date that I don't know, you had a child, or if you did this, that was an emotional charge. Like you're birthing a child, it's like, oh my, you remember all those emotions. But if I ask you like 2 years later, the same, like what, you might not know. So that's what I mean by emotional significant events. When we have these things happen to us, we're charged, and it's locked in our nervous system and our bodies, that we would like feel and know all these things. So having been told that and having experienced that, every time I'm in a similar situation, I feel like, oh my goodness, I might be embarrassed, or something I might feel exposed. Somebody will find me out. I might be in a fraudster, still being an interpreter when I was told I couldn't. Those feelings and those things will keep on showing up and playing up if we don't work on that and change the meaning we gave those situations and those scenarios. And when things like that happen, it is not just the words that were said in those times. It's not just how it was presented, but it's because of what those words mean, what it meant to us at the time. That's what hits. That's what's locked in. That's what hits our nervous system. Some moments don't hurt our feelings, and there are some that actually rewrites our identity. Because when that happened, I decided I was no longer going to put my hands up to answer any more questions. Some from someone that used to be like, "Oh my God, babe, like no, my stuff, like da da da," and now it's like, "Oh no, no, no! Don't call me out to read. Don't call me out to write anything on the board. Don't call me to do whatever." Changed how I was. It made me. I became shy, and I thought, "Oh, because I was introverted, that's why I was shy." No, I was shy because of what I was labeling myself. And this is the thing, people think shyness is also always linked to introverted. They're extroverted people that are shy. You put certain people in certain situations and they become so shy. They have no clue. And that's the thing. So I was just like, oh yeah, I'm just shy. This. I don't have eye contact. I don't like to be called out. Da, da, da. It was because I was laughed at when I was little. I'm saying I don't like this right now. That emotional thing that happened to me then was still running the show years later. And I see this play out in so many capable, skillful colleagues. They've got their thing, but someone said something, someone looks that way, someone does something, and that's it. They pull back, they shrink, they freeze, they run away, they quit. And so now, every difficult moment after that, every struggle, every mistake, every freeze is a proof that they're right, that the brain is protecting us. It's like, yeah, you see, that was dangerous, right? That's this, that's why. It's like evidence. We're collecting the wrong kind of evidence. And this is how it carries on showing up in our adulthood, in whatever it is we're doing. And we're like, well, we think that, oh, it's we're we lack the skill when it's not even the skill. It wasn't. And on these things, they're not always loud when it happens. It's just you. And how does it show up? You over prepare, you overthink, you hesitate, you avoid putting yourself out there, going for the road, doing certain things. You avoid asking questions. You avoid being monitoring, you just monitor yourself constantly. That's how it shows up. Because we don't know what that is. And not because you're incapable. No, because part of your brain is still trying to protect you from that humiliation, from that embarrassment, from that judgment, from whatever that is for you. Your nervous system is reacting to the memories of your adult self your adult self has moved from it, but your nervous system is still reacting to that. We've moved on as adult, physically, mentally. We no, but emotion, like as nervous system, no, hasn't. And I honestly think that healing starts from the moment you realize that whatever is showing up for you isn't weakness. It is just protection. Your brain is doing its job. But the only problem is it's an outdated protection. It's a protection that you don't need anymore. Because your brain thinks, oh, if I keep you small and safe, we're being okay. We don't need to exert so much energy. If I keep you quiet, then nobody needs to pick at you or point or showcase whatever. If you stay hidden, then there is be no point of like laughing at you or whatever that is. That's how the brain is thinking in a way of protecting you. When you are consciously like, I want to do this, I want to be this, I want to do that, your brain is like, yeah, but let's just be quiet for now. Let's just stay here. We don't need to know because we won't feel any pain again. We'll be fine. We'll be good. But the problem is, it's also will keep you unseen. So maybe that's why some people still shrink in rooms that they've already earned the right to stay in, tall and stand and own it. They shrink because part of them is still reacting to an older version of themselves, a younger version, an embarrassed version, a version that thought was a painful moment that defined who they were, but it didn't. You survived that moment. You don't have to keep surviving it forever. I am Nene. We do this every single day. Remember, your voice matters and it's your time to use it. Bye for now.